the most popular Pokemon in the format. It's really only Gastrodon there that is kind of that tech choice for Ken. But then on the other side, you see the type of team you never want to face in a tournament because it's so scary looking. There's so many different modes to the team. If you don't lead correctly, you can just get demolished just straight from turn one. You see the Mimikyu and Snorlax combination, that can be deadly. Formosa and Lele are just so fast and powerful and deal so much damage and cover each other's weaknesses very well. And then of course Smeargle and Porygon Z, we saw that both at Japan Nationals and then again at US Internationals with the likes of Marcus running that team. It's just so deadly if you're not able to stop it. So three, I would say, lead combos that you have to prepare for every single one of them, and it's just so difficult to do.
Yeah, and Marcus was one of the players that piloted that Porygon Z team all the way to the top cut and was really close. Unfortunately, he was stuck by Paul Chua, who ended up becoming the runner-up. Here we are now, Ryan Lowe versus Zheyuan Wang. Zheyuan in the past has actually won a regional championship in this season, not quite in this format, all the way back in Philadelphia. Here we are. Gastrodon and Tapu Koko leads for Zheyuan on the top or on the right as you see him. Ryan Lowe on the bottom running Mimikyu and Snorlax, a kind of throwback to what was winning the 2017 Southern California Regional Championships.
Yeah, that kind of hard Trick Room mode, and we even saw it do very well at internationals in Brazil with Ashton Cox having that kind of combo on his team.
Yep, and Zheyuan now going for a discharge. Mimikyu is paralyzed. And is also going to bust the disguise as well. So that also did a lot of damage to that Snorlax as well. Gastrodon using Scald here, going to go ahead and target down Ryan Snorlax. Is it going to get the burn as well? It does get the burn. So double stabs right there for Zheyuan. It is going to go ahead and munch away on its berry here. It is going to heal back a lot of health thanks to that Figgy Berry. And Snorlax now using Belly Drum, and that's one of the things that's synergistic about Snorlax, Gluttony, and Belly Drum. You're pretty much guaranteed to get up a Belly Drum as Mimikyu now uses Trick Room. So, you know, the damage output is going to be mitigated because of that burn, but
when you're at 6 stages of increased attack, I mean, it's now Snorlax probably won't be able to one-hit KO the Gastrodon thanks to the burn, but it's still going to be able to pick up the KO onto Tapu Koko and other more frail Pokemon. And we also see one of the downsides of Disguise. You can still get afflicted by any status conditions or side effects of moves, as we saw Discharge paralyze it despite doing no damage.
Yep, and Tapu Koko now switches out on Zheyuan's side. Going to go into Celesteal, which will deal with the Snorlax a lot better. Snorlax using Return here, going to hit that Celesteal, but thanks to that burn, not even going to be enough for a 2-hit KO. Mimikyu using Psych Up, though, going to go ahead and copy Snorlax's stat changes, which is kind of a throwback.
Oh, the Clear Smog!
Gastrodon, what are you doing? Just going for the Clear Smog, just removing its stat changes, but Mimikyu is still set up with 6 stages of increased attack. That's kind of a throwback to the 2008
World Championship throwback. Team. Yeah, that was my first year playing at Worlds, and we saw the Trick Room, Belly Drum, Snorlax combo, but it was with Psych Up Metagross, but this is such a throwback to that combination. It's kind of what makes this Mimikyu Snorlax combo so dangerous because you do have to worry about so many different things coming out from the Mimikyu. Not only can it be trained to be really fast and threaten you with like a Z Ghost move, but it can also go for like Destiny Bond, even Z Destiny Bond. It can do things like Psych Up. There's so much that Mimikyu can do that it just makes this combination so deadly until you know exactly what you're up against.
Yep, Snorlax now revealing a move that we don't see often on Snorlax at all. It is going to be Rock Slide. Not very effective on that Gastrodon. A little bit of chip to that Celesteela. Mimikyu now revealing Play Rough. Thanks to that paralysis, for sure will be moving slower than that Gastrodon. Picks up the KO. So big paralysis that may be helping Ryan as long as that Mimikyu can continue to be hitting heavy as the heavy slam connects on a Mimikyu, and of course Mimikyu hangs on.
One of the plus sides of being trained to be a bulkier Mimikyu, which this one likely is, considering it relies more on Psych Up for damage rather than a Ghostium Z, is that you're able to take attacks like Heavy Slam from Celesteal, and it pays huge dividends here because you still have a 6 stages of increased attack Mimikyu. Celesteal is getting pretty low in HP, and you still have Snorlax, which is at 6 stages of increased attack, though it is burned, but you're still threatening tons of damage. Now, Intimidate will do a little bit to help against the Snorlax, but Mimikyu still at 5 stages of increased attack, and it's not able to get Extreme Speeded since it's a Ghost type. It is going to have to watch out for the paralysis, of course, but Snorlax is in that Extreme Speed KO range if Arcanine is carrying that.
Yeah, and Belly Drum's this set on Snorlax is a bit different. You know, Belly Drum usually means that you have one attacking move, either the Return, Facade, maybe even a Double Edge, of course. You also usually coverage move with high horsepower, but instead revealing Rock Slide. So this Snorlax is a bit of a more obscure set here, may not have access to all the tools that Snorlaxes enjoy. Now, Celesteela using Protect, not wanting to get KO'd by that Mimikyu just yet. Snorlax using Rock Slide here. It is going to be super effective on that Arcanine. Of course, when there's a Rock Slide, there's a chance to flinch. Is it going to happen? Is Arcanine going to be able to move? Will it even survive what Mimikyu decides to do here? Mimikyu now using Shadow Claw in that Celesteela slot. Zheyuan reacting flinches.
Oh, that's why Rock Slide is considered the best move in the game by certain people, myself included, because of just how much power it has in situations like this where you can both do damage and threaten flinches, which just totally prevent your opponent from even moving. And now you get another chance to do a lot of damage next turn because Celesteela had just protected, so Mimikyu gets another chance at Shadow Claw. Of course, it is still paralyzed, so there's always a chance. And considering Arcanine didn't go for an extreme speed last turn, you have to start wondering, does it even have it?
And here we are going into the turn. Celesteela withdrawing here, not going to want to stay in and get KO'd just yet. Tapu Koko is going to hit the field here, and it is going to be threatened to be KO'd. Arcanine protecting itself, not wanting to get hit by a Rock Slide or a Shadow Claw even. Snorlax does get to go for a Rock Slide here. Going to hit that Tapu Koko for a little bit of damage. Again, that burn from before with that Gastrodon Skull. So important as Mimikyu now goes for a Shadow Claw. Going to hit in that Celesteela slot. It is going to be enough to KO that Tapu Koko. So big damage coming from that Mimikyu. And of course, this is such a strong duo right here. Mimikyu, Snorlax, friends forever.
Yeah, and Zheyuan's already lost 2 of his Pokemon just trying to take out this combination of Mimikyu and Snorlax. He'll finally be able to do so now the Trick Room is out, and Snorlax and Mimikyu are both so low in HP, and they're both extremely slow, especially Mimikyu after the paralysis. So you will be able to pick up 2 KOs here with Celesteela and Arcanine, and probably get a Beast Boost too with Celesteela, which is nice. But there's still 2 remaining Pokemon in the back. They could be very fast Pokemon like Tapu Lele and Formosa, which really don't care the Trick Room just expired.
Arcanine using Flare Blitz here, going to pick the KO on that Snorlax, and of course Celesteela will be able to go for that Heavy Slam and also get a Beast Boost as well on that Mimikyu, and there it is, the Heavy Slam. This Beast Boost will reveal what kind of build this Celesteela is. Usually if you're using Heavy Slam, however, you're most likely going to be getting a special defense boost if you're Celesteela, as we do see the Beast Boost activate now, and here it is, a special defense boost.
Yeah, so it'll be very interesting to see what these final 2 Pokemon are in the back. If they're Pokemon that can take out Celesteela and Arcanine, you know, as long as Tapu Lele does have to watch out for Celesteela, but it is very strong against Arcanine because it threatens so much damage. Smeargle will be really interesting because it can do so much.
Porygon Z!
That's going to be very good here because Porygon Z is going to have room to boost if that is what its set is. Porygon Z is another one of those Pokemon that can run so many different sets. We see Choice Scarf. Sage and Park had very, very early in the format used a Scarf Porygon Z set to great effect, but we've also seen on the likes of Marcus's team as well as the team at Japan Nationals that got top 8 with Porygon Z and Smeargle went for the Z conversion instead. So there's so many different things Porygon Z can do. Even a Z Hyper Beam is an option. We'll see what it has here.
Yep, and Porygon Z actually moves after the Arcanine. So Arcanine gets to go for a Flare Blitz here, going to hit that Smeargle and break it down to its Focus Sash as the Smeargle went for a Fake Out onto that. Oh, the burn! Make sure that Smeargle will not be able to stick around at all, and now Porygon Z going to go for a Z move here. It is going to be the Normalium Z. Is it going to be the Hyper Beam Breakneck Blitz, or is it going to be a possible Z conversion here? It is going to be the Breakneck Blitz. That's going to be most likely a Hyper Beam converted into the Breakneck Blitz. One of the strongest moves in the game, boosted by the adaptability.
An insane amount of damage.
Yep, hits that Arcanine here, and that is going to be easily a KO. So now it's going to become Porygon Z versus that Celesteela.
Yeah, but that burn onto Smeargle is going to be huge because now Smeargle is going to go down. It's not going to be able to use any of its support moves. And Celesteela, we saw it had a special defense boost. It's going to be very tough for Porygon Z to take it out. It wasn't, you know, a Z conversion boost turning into an electric type like we saw famously used in the Japan Nationals and by Marcus at the US Internationals. So you have to imagine it's got Hyper Beam. It's probably got Protect. If it even has Thunderbolt on the set, I mean, it's just not going to be enough to defeat the Celesteela.
Yep, and it looks like the match was forfeited. It looks like Ryan forfeited that match from the way the screen popped up, not really having enough resources on the Porygon Z to be able to pick up the KO on that Celesteela, which might be good information for Zheyuan to have. And yes, that was Zheyuan taking the win there after Ryan selects forfeit.
Yeah, you have to think Ryan just didn't want to reveal any more of his Porygon Z's moveset. But if
you
had
to think right there that there's no Thunderbolt.
Exactly. That's the other thing I was about to say, because that just means he probably didn't have Thunderbolt. Because if you have Thunderbolt, you're at least going for it. You can get a critical hit through the special defense boost, and you can definitely survive Heavy Slam, maybe 2 of them, as well as potential full paralysis into a full paralysis. So if you have Thunderbolt, you're never forfeiting there. So that kind of reveals, you know, in a way you're trying to hide information, but then you also kind of reveal you don't have Thunderbolt for the Celesteela by forfeiting there.
Yep, and here we are now going into team preview. Ryan had such a strong start off the bat, but unfortunately he just couldn't maintain it for the end game. So is it going to come down to adjustments, or is it just going to come down to doing the same thing, but, you know, like actual team adjustments, or just how you play differently?
He did get a little bit unlucky there. You saw the burn onto Snorlax. Now, the paralysis onto Mimikyu didn't end up mattering. You didn't really see any full paralysis there, so that was kind of negligible. But that burn onto Snorlax really hurt, and then the burn onto Smeargle really, really hurt, because there was just no way to deal with that Celesteela. But when you look at the team, it's going to be really hard to even deal with Celesteela in the first place. You need Mimikyu to get up to +6 thanks to the Psych Up. You need Shadow Claw to hit the Celesteela, but smartly Zheyuan conserved the Celesteela, decided to sacrifice Tapu Koko because he recognized Celesteela was going to be his win condition in this match.
All right, here we go. Game 2 between Zheyuan Huang of the United States of America versus Ryan Lowe. The exact same leads for Ryan. On the other side, Zheyuan, of course, using Snorlax and Tapu Koko, changing it up just a little bit. Changing it up both. Yeah, changing it up both ways.
Yep, so it'll be really interesting because Snorlax does have a lot of access. If it goes for a Curse, it can then threaten a lot of damage if Mimikyu decides to set up a Trick Room. But we don't see Gastrodon, and Gastrodon did have Clear Smog last time, which ended up being, you know, very beneficial in neutralizing Snorlax's damage output alongside the burn. So,
yep, Zheyuan now using Volt Switch, gonna switch out and gonna bring in the Gastrodon. So maybe trying to bait the Belly Drum, trying to make Ryan think that it's safe to go for the Belly Drum without the Gastrodon out on the field. But still, that Snorlax using Curse, which is good because it's gonna be able to set up and allow the
it is.
Belly Drum, but that Snorlax now is actually going to underspeed Ryan's Belly Drum, Belly Drummed Snorlax. So with an attack stage,
it's going to be able to threaten a KO there. Yeah, and it's not even like Snorlax could protect and, you know, Mimikyu go for a Psych Up, because you still have that Clear Smog threat from Gastrodon. So Zheyuan's definitely in a really good spot here.
Yeah, and oh boy, it's tough. Like, staring down this Gastrodon, you know it's going to remove your stats, so if you try to Psych Up, you're just going to get your Disguise busted, and you're just going to lose your stat changes.
Yeah, and it was exactly as you said. It was pretty much a bait to get Snorlax to think it was safe to go for a Belly Drum while you Volt Switch out into Gastrodon.
And Snorlax revealing Protect here. Maybe that's something that maybe Zheyuan did not expect. The double edge does connect in that Snorlax Protect as Gastrodon using Clear Smog. In that Snorlax Protect, as well as Mimikyu going for the Psych Up, it does go through Protect. It is going to go ahead and copy Snorlax's stat changes, but still, that Clear Smog is going to go before that Mimikyu.
Yes, and Snorlax can still threaten the KO onto the opposing Snorlax with double edge, and thanks to Curse, it is going to be slower, and Gastrodon we saw is also slower than Mimikyu, so still a really good position there for Zheyuan, and you have to imagine Celesteela is also in the back.
Yep, and there's a double edge. Zheyuan celebrating from that KO on Ryan Snorlax. Big knockout right there. Gastrodon using Clear Smog, gonna go ahead and bust the Disguise, and again clear away Mimikyu's stat changes, so that 2 turns essentially wasted just setting up that Belly Drum because of that Volt Switch bait. And now Mimikyu using Play Rough, but it's not boosted, and you're not gonna get those boosts back. Gastrodon taking no damage at all.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Ryan because it's just such a well-made team by Zheyuan to just counter exactly what he's going for. He's got the Clear Smog on the Gastrodon, Curse on Snorlax to really take advantage of Trick Room. He's got the Celesteela, which is such a pain to take out. It's just such a well-constructed team, and we saw Gastrodon was the one Pokemon that wasn't just, you know, super standard. In fact, Gastrodon is very, very rarely seen, at least lately in the format, but it's here Gastrodon is playing such a critical role, and you can see exactly why. Snorlax was predicted to be very popular in this tournament. Gastrodon can really deal with that with Clear Smog.
Oh, and the double edge connects on the Porygon Z and picks up the KO
Jeez.
immediately. So this Snorlax is doing so much more work than it did in the past game. Well, what did he? I forgot if he even came out, even though it was such a short time ago. Again, Gastron going for a clear Smog as Mimikyu now is forced to reverse the Trick Room. So Ryan now back against the wall. Mimikyu no boosts. And Porygon Z, who has access to the Normalium Z, is KO'd. And now it's going to come down to Mimikyu and Smeargle.
And Smeargle doesn't have any kind of damage capabilities, so this game looks just about over.
And you can't put anything to sleep either because of the electric terrain.
Yep. So it's not looking too good for Ryan here, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Zheyuan, good adjustments. You know, Ryan, I mean, just the lead change and the way you
he
changed
just
it up,
played it
the
perfectly. Volt switch, baiting the belly drum, getting Gastrodon out. The clear Smog is just huge in this matchup.
Yep, and Mimikyu now following up with a Psych Up, gonna copy Snorlax's stat change, will get a Curse boost essentially, gonna slow it down a little bit, but the Scald connects on a Mimikyu. Of course, there's no burn there as the electricity does disappear. Now Moody comes out, and this is gonna be a factor, so Mimikyu is the only really attacking force on Ryan's side. It's going to be a defense increase and a special defense drops, but
yeah, but there's still clear Smog, and you have no way to deal any kind of significant damage. So it's still going to be really difficult. And Tapu Koko's still in the back, so you can block Dark Void just by switching it in.
It's tough.
It's very tough.
You just had to spend another turn having to try to psych up as Tapu Koko again coming back out on the field to prevent any sort of Smeargle Spore techniques that could possibly come out. And of course threaten heavily even more. Smeargle does go for that Spore, but Tapu Koko again doing its job. The Electric Train is preventing that Pokemon from getting KO'd. Sorry, not KO'd, but put to sleep as, again, another clear Smog. You just can't keep those boosts.
Nope. You spend a turn trying to get those boosts, but then they just get clear Smogged away. And now Tapu Koko gets to come in and just threaten a ton of damage to both of these Pokemon. Meanwhile, we see just how much that Play Rough is doing from Mimikyu, just not enough.
Yep, and it looks like Ryan, well, just realized that he just doesn't have any options. And unfortunately, he's just forced to forfeit. And Zheyuan Huang, 2-0 over Ryan Lowe, gonna move on to day 2. And look at that, he's just astonished. He's looking into the crowd for support. And
Yep.